fart again, but I don't want you to get the ick.
Let it out. You have to now. You said it.
Oh, I just did.
Today we gotta talk about Kaylor and Aaron from Love Island USA. I know, fuck. I have a lot of things to say. I was eating this season of Love Island up like nom 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 nom. I had to be readily available to turn on my peacock like clockwork, honey. This season was without a doubt the best season that I have seen in a very, very long time. I know that it is most people's favorite season at this point, and now a lot of people are watching Love Island that previously were not watching Love Island, and that makes me so excited. I have been raving about this show for so long. I actually did a video on it before, how Love Island and social media affected the cast members on Love Island. It's such a good show. I mean, the very beginning, you're judging people based off of first impressions, and by the end of the show, you just either love or some people even hate the cast members, and it is just, it's so good. It's like Big Brother on an island with a bunch of people trying to find love, and it gets messy, and it is drama filled, and it is amazing. I don't know what to do with my hair. My hair is driving me freaking insane. Ugh. And sometimes people be like, don't play with it. It looks like noodles. I don't know what to do with my hair. It looks terrible. Whatever, okay? We rolled out of bed not that long ago. We're gonna deal with it. We're gonna roll with the punches as they come, okay? What I'm gonna do in this little mini series, I'm gonna be talking about some of my favorite cast members' relationships on this show. In this video, we're gonna be talking about Kaylor and Aaron from the beginning to end, and then we're gonna do Leah and Rob and that whole shebang, because that was a good time. And we're also gonna be talking about Serena and Cordell, and there's just a lot to go over. I would love to do this before the reunion comes out to get them all out there, but I don't know. We'll see what will happen. I'm a mom. Sometimes I get an idea to film something and then I can't get in here to film it. So we'll see how it goes. But today we got to talk about Kaylor and Aaron. All right, whether you loved them or hated them, they kept us entertained the entire show.
I just think you're funny. I don't even think you half the time are trying to be funny. You just do funny things. You're an idiot. I'm winning. I still feel like a winner. Future wife locked in.
It was so interesting to watch their downfall. And it was a downfall, okay? Because right now I'm pretty sure they're broken up. Everything is leading to them being broken up. Exhibit A.
If you are single, there is one thing you should always take with you when you go out on a Saturday night. Your friends.
And this is something that we were kind of hoping from the very beginning, because all of us that were watching the show could see what Kaylor couldn't see, which was that Aaron was no good. From the very beginning, they coupled up and locked in.
Aaron and Kaylor.
And at first, I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit bamboozled by Aaron, and I actually voted for them as my favorite couple in the beginning. I think that's what the vote was for, but it was something where I voted for them in like a positive light because I originally liked them. And then things started to come out before his Casa experience about how he was on UK's Traitors, which that show was all based around there's a traitor and that person has to lie and trying to win a bunch of money.
Made this joke this morning and I was just like, oh, we have a Ted Bundy on our hands, and Ted Bundy is charismatic, good looking and sweet, and that's you, my love.
Sorry. Yeah, no, sorry. You alright, buddy? Yeah, sorry. I'm good now. I don't know what happened.
It's a competition, it's a game.
I think
okay?
I just started
it's a tad dramatic.
I know. I just didn't know where it came from, and I got attacked from every single angle.
Well, that's the point of it. Everyone's going to get attacked.
Aaron was on the Traitors, the UK version.
I would said this to her. I was like, his job was to convince everyone he wasn't, right? And he won it.
Yeah, he won, which is like a huge deal. So my whole thing is, I'm like, is he just playing a game with Kaylor right now?
In order to be a traitor, you got to be good at making people like you and think that you're not that, okay? I've never seen the show, but I think that's basically like the premise of it. And so he was on that show. That was an immediate red flag to me, was that he was on a previous reality show where he was trying to win money. The purpose of that show was to fool people into thinking that you weren't the traitor. Now you're on Love Island, where at the end of the show, you could win money, but you got to convince the public and the person you're partnered up with that you're falling in love. I mean, if Kaylor and Aaron won, he might have been the first one in Love Island history to take that full check, because I don't think he was genuine from the very beginning. Now, before we get further into this, everything that I'm saying is just my opinion, and I do not dislike any of these people as human beings. They're all people at the end of the day. I'm just going to be commentating on what I saw on the show, who they are off camera. I have no idea, and I mean no disrespect to any of them. They kept me entertained thoroughly this summer, and I appreciate all of them for that. Anyway, it was also recently brought to my attention that Aaron was on another dating show.
Someone that isn't too like materialistic, someone that's fun, and someone that can give me beef. I just think like, because sometimes people can't take it and they just think like, oh, little boy.
We're engaged.
Yeah, I can see you are getting on too well. I always go for like blonde hair, blue eyes sort of thing.
Jesus, well, get this man and you go.
This was not his first dating show. This is something that he does, which isn't so unusual for people who are in reality TV to kind of go from one show to the next. But the problem with it for me when it comes to people getting on Love Island is that I take my Love Island watching experience very seriously, and my hope is that the people that are getting on there are all being genuine. And yes, of course, they're going to have, you know, endorsements, and they're going to be able to get advertisers and become social media influencers once they get out. That's just what happens, and that's totally fine if that's something you're excited about. Anybody would be excited about that if that's something that you want to do. That's fine. But my hope for them is that when they go into it, that they're being genuine in the sense that they are open to actually finding love in there, because it is Love Island. And I think out of everyone that I saw on this season, Aaron was the one that I think was playing the game from the very beginning. And I'm not saying that maybe he didn't get genuine feelings for Kaylor, because I think in that environment where your phones are removed from you, the outside world's are removed from you, and you're just stuck in this environment and around somebody 24/7, you know, you're going to catch feelings. So I don't doubt that in the end he did probably catch them. However, I think his intentions of going in there were wrong. And let's rewind to what I was trying to say 10 years ago. Kaylor and Aaron coupled up from the very beginning. It seemed all cutesy at the beginning that, you know, oh my gosh, they're going to be that couple that probably goes to the end because they're sticking it out for the long haul.
I said earlier, like, I'm trying to, like, not put all my eggs in one basket.
Yeah, I don't think you should.
Talking with you is so easy and fun and giddy. Everything has been so natural, and I not only feel like this boy is one of my best friends, but I'm really excited to see what the future may hold.
To be honest, like, I'm more happy when you're around than when you're not around. All of yesterday, the reason I was stressing out so much is because I literally didn't see it all day, and I think I was getting irritated. This is so annoying because I want to be here because I want to see her.
I feel like she's my best friend in the villa. She always makes me laugh throughout the day. I look forward to going to sleep at night because I know I can wake up next to her. I always find myself looking at her and smiling even when she's not looking back.
But then once you know that Aaron has been on other reality shows before where he's been trying to win money, it starts to kind of look like he was just on there playing a game, and that he knew that a lot of the times when people couple up from the beginning and stick it through, they end up going the long haul. But things start to get a little messy and a little rocky further into the show.
Do you think Aaron's body count is higher or lower? I think it's higher.
But in my defense, I was broken-hearted.
He was questioning me about my body count. Sir, like, can you list all the 70 girls you hooked up with? But I think you're a bigger flirt.
I'm just a very like touchy-feely person, so I feel like I'm always like, on people, like whether it's girls or boys. Like I like touching people.
Yeah.
They did something very interesting in this show that I haven't seen them do before, and that was that they gave them a choice to go to Casa Amor or not, because in previous seasons, like in Love Island UK, if you have watched it, you don't get a choice. They just split you up, okay? In this season of USA, they gave them a choice. Of course, everybody chooses to go. I don't feel like they should have gave them a choice. I think that the Love Island experience, Casa Amor, needs to be a staple. You need to have it because it truly tests people's authenticity, it tests relationships, and it shows you people's true colors, as it did with Aaron. I mean, if Aaron had chosen to stay, Kaylor would have never seen this side of him. So Love Island, keep this a staple. They all need to go. Now, what's interesting about this is right before they were going to Casa, Aaron starts to throw out the L word to Kaylor.
Basically, I nearly told you 2 things today that I had to hold myself from saying, because I was like, this is actually really scary, and I would never ever use that word as well. And I'm not going to say the L word, but there were times where I was just like, I L this about you, and it felt like really scary even thinking that thought process at the time.
Does it make you feel better that I feel the same? And I definitely like have love for you, and like I love who you are as a person. I am feeling, I think, very similar, but we just don't know that because we don't like have these chats.
Now, Kaylor is a very emotional girl, and I'm not gonna fault her for that. I don't think we should ever try and like, you know, dull people's sparkle. Not saying crying is somebody's sparkle, but I mean like this is just her. her. She's an emotional person. If it bothers you, don't watch. You know what I mean? For fuck's sake, just don't watch if it bothers you. She's just an emotional person, and you know, it honestly was really hard to watch. I imagine that her mom was like heartbroken watching this show and seeing her be affected in the way that she was.
I like really like Aaron. The last thing I want to do is hurt the guy I like. So I'd be like so upset at myself if I really this up.
This girl truly fell for Aaron on this show. I truly felt her feelings were so genuine. That's why a lot of the hate that she gets, I feel like, is a bit unfair to her personally, because he was bamboozling this girl like we've never seen before, and she couldn't see the things that all of us could see, right? So she's just there with him while he's this fun, happy-go-lucky guy who makes her laugh and is super flirty. In there, he's giving her all of his attention and everything's good, right? That's all she's seeing. It's a little bit unfair to judge her off of that, if that makes sense. It made me so mad when he starts throwing around the L word to her when he obviously genuinely didn't mean it, which we'll get into how we found out he didn't mean it, because I truly felt that her heart was on her sleeve and that she was there with an open mind to potentially meet somebody, and I do believe that she had true feelings for him. So for him to do that when he obviously didn't really feel that way makes me so mad. He is one of those guys that you say, I don't want my daughter to be with somebody like that. I don't have a daughter, but if I did, I would not want her to be with somebody like that, because he's one of those guys that is so nice, he is going to end up breaking your heart. It was just so hard to watch because we all knew he was on these other shows and he was potentially not there for the right reasons, but she didn't know that, okay? And so, I mean, like the fact that he was showing more emotion towards Rob, his best friend in the villa, the whole time, like whenever he thought Rob was gonna leave and he was like bawling and like begging him not to go, he never acted like that about Kaylor. And even spoiler alert, when they get kicked off later in the show, he says to Rob, I'm so glad that we're leaving the show together, but doesn't say it to Kaylor. You're supposed to say that to the girl you're coupled up with. I love when I see like the bromances happen in the show, to be honest with you, but it's just so funny, like all the clips that I've seen of Aaron and Rob like just being the best couple you've ever seen, like they would have won the show. I don't actually hate them. I really don't. I am thoroughly entertained by watching these people on TV, and they gave us a good season. If we didn't have the people on here making bad decisions, it wouldn't have been as entertaining. That's why we were eating it up, nom 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 nom, you know what I mean? Anyway, moving on. So they go to Casa. Aaron is immediately Kaylor who? There's this islander in there called Daniela, okay, which no hate towards her. She was just doing her job coming in as a Casa girl. But Aaron was instantly all about her, making out with her off camera. And they had this, we gotta rewind to this moment where Aaron and Kaylor had this little handshake situation that meant a lot to Kaylor. It was their secret handshake. He shares this handshake with Daniela. He tells her in one of these clips that he wants to take a shower with her. And then one of the mornings after, they like spent the night in the same bed.
Would that mean you are not open to share a bed?
You're making this so difficult. I'll share a bed, but I'll set boundaries. I'm gonna have clothes on, yeah. We will not do anything too crazy. A cuddle and that's it. Yeah, cuddle, that's it.
That's all I want.
However, I'm in the situation with Kayla, so I'm trying to be as respectful as I can. This situation wasn't what it was right now. I'd probably kiss you, but this has to be respectful.
She's doing everything possible to like...
She's really great.
Daniela is telling the other Casa Amor girls that he tried to stick his hand in her pants. Keep in mind, he's been with Kaylor like weeks at this point. Only Kaylor, no outside world connections, goes in there and knows her a day and is acting like that. This is, in the history of Love Island, one of the most awful men I have seen yet in the way that he treated his girl back in the villa. This was so disrespectful, because you don't have to be in love with her to care about her as a person, right? And you just almost dropped the L-bomb, but then you go in there and you're acting like this. It was so hard to watch knowing she didn't know. And the whole time she's back in the villa being so loyal. She has other options. She's sleeping outside with the bugs with Serena. Before they leave Casa Amor and go back to the villa, Aaron changes his tune-up. And when I was watching it, it seemed really bizarre to me, because he was all about Daniela and suddenly he's not with her anymore and Rob's coupling up with her, who is Aaron's best friend, and it started to look a little strange, but then it started getting pieced together what happened. The villa and Casa Amor were close enough that there was this night where Kaylor yells, fuck Aaron. Fuck Aaron, okay? Aaron hears it. Rob pulls Aaron aside and tells him off camera, she got the video. They sent her a video of you and Daniela.
I could bite you right now.
I bite back.
Kind of like it.
I don't mind a little nibble or smack.
Oh, go away, you dirty freak.
Daniela, no. No.
Yeah, I love it, bro. That boy is like, this is not Kyeluh.
Don't. Daniela.
Relax.
No.
I'm trying.
Fooling around with me in the bedroom and he's rubbing a girl's feet, telling me he wants to meet my family, but he is kissing another girl. Don't ever say my mom's name and then do this shit.
Number one, that's why when he went back, he wasn't being fully honest with her on everything that happened, because he needed to know, what does she know first? Because I'm only going to give her the amount of information that she already knows. I'm not going to give her more than that. But he just gave her enough information to, satisfy her, but he wasn't convinced that the full information that she would stay with him. What did he do? He just waited to figure out what she knew. The thing that just really enrages me is that Rob couples up with Daniela and brings her back to the villa. So when Aaron walks back in, it looks like he's coming in alone. Then when Kaylor sees Rob come in, she's like, oh, he found somebody. And then she realizes, oh my God, he's bringing in the girl that Aaron was just coupled up with.
Is that the one that Aaron?
Oh, is it?
So Rob is also supposed to be Kaylor's friend, right? You just brought her some trauma into the villa. Thank you very much. He said in the Call Her Daddy podcast, if I can get this clip, I will. He said that initially Aaron told him to bring Daniela back to the villa.
When it was time to return to the villa, you brought his girl Daniela back in with you.
Right.
And he returned as single so that he could present as loyal basically to Kaylor. And he's like, I want you. Do not lie to me. Tell me what happened. So did Aaron ask you to bring Daniela back?
No. Hell no. He didn't want me to bring her. Oh, actually, he did. Then after that, right, like immediately after that, he was like, terrible idea. Don't bring her back. I don't really remember that well. But he was like, he pulled me for a chat and he was like, oh yeah, she took it really, really well. The way that when he said that he was done, like he wasn't going to take her back, whatever. She took it, he said like, she took it with like such grace and like she was so kind and she just said really nice things about him and stuff. And he was like, oh dang, like that was really cool. Yeah. And he was like, you should take her back. Yeah. I forgot. But it's because the reason I forgot about it is because maybe 10 minutes after that conversation, he was like, please forget everything I just said. That's an awful idea. I'm going back to Kaylor and I really like Kaylor. Like that's just, don't bring her back at all unless you really want to. And I was like, okay. Yeah. It was like, I guess implied like that he thinks that she's cool. I was thinking, yeah, no. I'm a dumbass. Do not do that unless you really want to. And then I was like, I got to know her and I was like, there's enough there that I want to see where it goes.
Yeah.
We didn't have a lot of time.
Did you feel like a dick doing that to Kaylor?
Yeah. The whole thing to me came off like Aaron wanted Daniela as a potential option if Kaylor didn't forgive him. And that's disgusting. So gross. The worst behavior. And the fact that Rob did that for him, there's his wingman. Ugh, I cannot. But it was just so interesting to me because she was outside with the Bugs, with Serena. They're both being loyal to their men, and they were the worst ones in the Casa Amor experience. The two guys that behaved the worst were the ones that had loyal girls back in the villa sleeping outside getting bit by mosquitoes. This was a hard watch. It was so upsetting. I was just like, what is wrong with you guys? What is wrong with you? Kaylor makes a decision to stay single.
So I think the best choice for me is just to stay single. Let's go!
Not yet, Aaron, not yet.
I've had a video sent to me from Casa, so maybe go head first.
I mean, explain me like what you've seen first and then we can go from there.
What I saw? Tell me, what do you think I saw, Aaron?
I don't know what you've seen, so...
Well, I want to let you know that I slept outside every single night being in this villa. Every single minute I'm thinking about you. And then last night I received a video. It was like the hardest thing. It's very hurtful because I've been nothing but respectful to you while I've been in here. And I had Kendall in the video saying, that's definitely not Kaylor. You know what I've been doing this entire day and night? was comparing myself to whatever this was.
I was applauding her, but I just didn't fully believe it. And it was also very short-lived because the second that Aaron got in her ear, she was just melting back into him again. She forgave him, but then again, she didn't know everything that he did.
I knew for a fact that you was going to be down here, and I knew for a fact that you was going to be sleeping outside, and I should have like fought harder. I know you're smarter, and I know that we're gonna like work through this.
Slowly but surely in the show, it starts to come out a little bit more, the things that he was actually saying and doing.
And I think all of us are surprised about this shit. I knew it in the back of my head because I know he's a little fucking flirt. I've said this from the jump. Oh, touch me in bed. Shower with me. Douche with me in the bedroom, and then kiss a girl. Like, are you with me right now? Like, are you with me? You have love for me? That's not what that is.
It's heartbreaking. Like, she cried so much. I have never seen another Islander have eyes this puffy.
I really like Aaron. The last thing I want to do is hurt the guy I like. So I'd be so upset at myself if I really f***ed this up.
The way that Kaylor looked when she went in the villa versus how she looked towards the end because of the way that he treated her was so sad. She deserved to have an amazing experience in there, and this little weasel ruined it. So they have this movie night where they show them the scenes, some of the most dramatic scenes of things that the other Islanders hadn't seen yet. And that is when Kaylor gets more information that Aaron left out. And not only that, Daniela, you did the same thing. She left out information from Kaylor that was very useful to Kaylor to know to make decisions wisely in there. She could have told her, hey, he was trying to get in my pants. And she didn't. She never told her. And also, Love Island USA, why didn't you play that clip for her? Because I think that was one of the most interesting ones that she didn't even see until she got out and finally watched the show. So they're showing these clips, and Aaron is like the worst person when he's confronted with something. Like, he can't ever just hang his head in shame and be like, I messed up, I'm so sorry.
I like that he's being so open, but I feel like for what you had, you're being crazy open.
Keep surprising me. I feel like the Aaron I thought I knew isn't who he actually is.
No, I'm sorry. Dark.
That's kind of cool. Do you want to do it again?
Come on, dude. Like, why?
That was probably my favorite moment in the whole time I've been here.
Aaron,
Literally hilarious.
What?
No, I'm talking about, this is completely the wrong context.
He has to try and act like he is better than the situation. He's so rude to Kaylor. Like, watching how he handled messing up is what made me dislike him in this show, because when he messed up, he treated her so disrespectfully. He yelled at her. He was rude to her. Like, the way that somebody treats you, like when you're crying, like says a lot, right? And she's crying and she's brokenhearted, and he's snapping at her and treating her like this.
Cheers, but I do really like you, and I feel like it's more than just a test.
Mate, it's what I felt in the moment. I'm gonna chase what I feel in the moment. It's simple as that. Yeah, there is consequences, but that's what I felt in the moment. It's simple as that. I know I made a mistake at the end of the day. I wanted to test myself as much as everyone else. Yes, I wasn't thinking about Kyeluh.
But I was thinking of you every single minute.
Yeah, but it's not a tit for tat situation. This is your experience and this is my experience as well. At the end of the day, this is all of our experiences in here. If that's how I wanted to go about it, that's how I wanted to go about it.
That is just really nasty behavior. And I feel like, you know, you're in Love Island, you are going to Casa Amor. It's supposed to be an experience. Sometimes people are going to mess up in these environments. And I'm not going to say that every situation is like completely unforgivable, but what is unforgivable is the way that somebody handles themselves after they mess up. The way that he handled himself was horrific. I'm popping up here in a voiceover because I forgot to film this part in this video, but I feel like this is very important to show because maybe if you watched it, you forgot about this. This speaks volumes to me about who Aaron is as a person. Previously in the show, before Casa Amor and all of that, Kaylor had kissed another Islander while Aaron was present during a challenge. This is a very normal thing for them to do on Love Island. Nothing unusual about it at all. Aaron got really upset at it, and I need to show you all how Aaron handled Kaylor kissing a guy in a challenge. This is how he handled what she did. You couple that up with how he handled himself after he messed up 1,000 times worse than she ever did. It really shows you who he is as a person. Maybe he's a cool guy to be friends with, but I don't think he's a good guy to date.
What's wrong?
Huh? I just feel a bit deflated, that's all.
Because of the challenge today?
Yeah, it's just kind of like spun me out a little bit. Like, are you doing something else that you haven't said to me yet?
I've done nothing but like explain myself to you. It's frustrating to hear that you're like upset because like in a stupid ass game, like I kissed someone else.
I'm not gonna lie, like right now I just feel like after today, like I don't really like, I just want to take a step back. I feel like all I've done is put all of my eggs in your basket, and I've not even like tried to tempt other like relationships in here because I've just been beeline for you.
I didn't figure that you would be this upset. Sorry that it made you feel the way it did. I'm trying to validate them.
But then it's like, what, you're just gonna kiss the third person, the fourth person, the fifth person until you actually go, oh yeah, actually, you know what? Okay, Aaron's a safe bet, I'll stick with him and I'll just keep kissing other people because he like lets me off. It's like bollocks, no.
I shouldn't have done that. The reason why I'm so upset is because the last thing I want to do is hurt you. I really like you, so I'm just like mad at myself.
Because I don't think I would have done it to you, and I just expected the same back.
And also, let's not forget this, that after Kaylor had kissed another Islander in the challenge, Aaron went on a date with one of the new bombshells. And when he came back, he took it upon himself to tell Kaylor something that you should probably keep to yourself. After he kisses Andrea, which is the girl he just went on a date with, he proceeds to tell Kaylor that there's a lot of things that she's better at than her.
And there's definitely things that like she's better at than you.
Like
1,000,000%. Like, I think she's very like level-headed.
Yeah, it's just hard. It's really hard. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like, I don't know. I'm so stressed.
Long story short, they get booted off the show. And when they have done videos and stuff afterwards, they were still together. They were like, Kaylor clearly has not seen the show because there is no way she saw all the things that he did and she's continuing to stay with him. So she does this podcast with Nick Viall where she talks to him about how she hasn't even seen it yet.
Has he told you anything else that happened in Casa now that cameras are down, the world isn't watching? Has he been like,
honestly, no, he hasn't.
I believe that.
yeah so he's like, we just have to watch it back together, and I'm like, honestly, I don't know if I want to watch this back with you. I think just to explain himself and maybe like try to distract me from being very angry at him. I know that I'm missing some things, and like even in the villa, I feel like I've gave him the chance to spill all to me. He's like, well, I don't remember. I'm like, well, I need you to remember.
Do you believe that he doesn't remember?
No, that's such a lousy excuse.
And then she does another podcast after when she talks about how she has seen it.
This is so bad. Like, I'm the biggest dickhead. I was as disappointed as everyone else, trust me. I watched it. And I watched from Casa, first day of Casa, until like movie night. And I'm like, I can hate myself. I'm like, I'm never going on my phone ever again. I was like, all these death threats, all these bad comments, I was like, these are so warranted.
I watched it yesterday with my friends, and I also watched a little bit of it this morning, so it's very new and fresh. I was so emotionally drained. First of all, it's so cringe to like watch yourself on the screen crying, but my perspective definitely has changed since whenever I was in the villa to now. I feel like the little things kind of mean more to me, like the stomach kisses in the morning and the breakfast, and then also I saw Aaron break things off with Daniela and then go in to lean in for a kiss. I definitely like feel differently as I like did in the villa about everything. Yeah, so we've been talking. I think he knows how I feel about everything. I feel like I want to take a step back. Now we are in the real world, and like I am seeing everything, and like I do have my support system at home, including my girlfriends, my family, and I just want to take things really slow. I don't want to like end things, but because I know like what Aaron and I had was like true and real. It wasn't even all of the Casa thing. It was just like more so him not taking accountability like Cordell did, which like really hurt. And I feel like that's like the least I deserved was the truth, and I didn't receive that from anyone in the villa. And I think that that's what also kind of mixed on like why I felt the way I did in the villa, because I wasn't receiving the truth, and then I finally got the truth, and still it wasn't the entirety of everything that happens. I just want to take things slow and see what happens. I don't want to give up on us, but I definitely have my doubts. And like I was telling Aaron the other day, like I like have trust issues now, and like I don't want to be that toxic person in this relationship.
And this is where things start to change, and she kind of like alludes to the fact that she doesn't really know where they're gonna go, and they're obviously now in two completely separate places. Kaylor does not go to the UK with Aaron. There's trouble in paradise. This reunion coming out on August 19th, I cannot wait, and I need to know the tea, the things that they have been hiding from us. I need to know. I love this show. If you love this show, definitely subscribe, because I'm going to be doing another video on Serena and Cordell from beginning to end, as well as Leah and Rob's romantic situation, the downfall of that. And if there's any other cast members' relationship that you would like to hear me do a video like this on, definitely let me know. I'm going to try so hard to get the next two out before the reunion comes out, because I want it to be beginning to and before the reunion, okay? Because more's gonna come out at the reunion and I don't know what that's gonna be. So I will try and get them out for you. Subscribe if you would like to see them. Also, I have a Patreon and members content. Join if you would like to support me. Do not forget to subscribe, and I will see you soon for another video.